There are all such investors who can immediately hire Gu in their company. After hearing all this, Wang's condition worsens, and he becomes silent. Gus stands there watching what Yin is doing to help him. He takes Gu Yin's hand from there and hugs her, saying thank you. On the other hand, Guy's friend, Su, is talking to the investor that we should not trouble Guy, and I will give you the information about the sample of that medicine. You can get the work done on it however you want, and here Guy is just doing his research. Next morning, we see Gus sitting in his office. Then an employee comes there and informs Guy that the information about the medicine and Pulti. Hearing this, Jenda is completely upset and calls his investor to tell him that the information about the medicine he has made has been leaked, on which the investor does not react anything but says that you should focus on your research and I will take care of everything else. In this running, he finds it a bit strange that how can someone remain so calm on such a big issue. That's why he goes to Su with this matter and also tells him, to which So says that if the investor has no problem with it, then why are you getting so worried? By the way, okay, I will get information on who is the person who is giving the information of our company to others. On the other hand, we see that an employee of the company who knows about all this trouble and who is leaking the information comes directly to Su and says that I have a proof from which it can be known that you are the one who is leaking the information of the company. And if you want to keep my mouth shut, then I need 3 million because I have to get my daughter operated. If you do not give me the money, then I will tell everyone, to which Su says that okay, I will give you the money, but in return, you will have to spread the news that Jan is the one who is leaking the company's information. Su wants Jan's name to be defamed because Su comes to know from his secretary that Jan has taken the job here with a false ID. That ID is in the name of some other woman who Jan is using. In the next scene, we see that Song has come to have coffee with Lo Fi, where her secretary comes and gives her a file which has all the information about Yen, that she is living with a false ID. When Luffy comes to know about this, he does not say anything but keeps listening to them. Kong decides to tell Gu all about, so she invites Gut to meet her at a cafe. When Gu comes to meet Song, Song shows him all the information and says that Yen definitely wanted to get some information out of you. That is why she entered your office with a fake ID, but Guy does not listen to her. Meanwhile, Luffy comes there and takes that file and Song out with him, where he tears the file and throws it in the dustbin. Seeing this, Song starts hitting him and says, "Do you like Yen so much that you are hiding his fake ID even after knowing about it?" And saying this, they both go away when Gu comes to that dustbin from the other side. He picks up the file and brings it to his office and joins those torn papers, due to which he also comes to know that Jan has come with a fake ID. Further, we see that on Su's request, the employee posted that Jan was the person who had leaked the company's information. Knowing this, Jan comes to the office and starts giving clarification to Guy, but he says, "That did you really want to get any information out of me? That is why you came here with a fake ID." Jan is not able to say anything on this because she knew that she is not going to stay here for much longer. So she thought that with this excuse, she can get away from you, otherwise there will be trouble in future. So she does not give any clarification, but Jan says that I did not leak any information. I was working with a fake ID only for my own work and not to harm anyone else. The scene shifts and we see Song sitting in her house, thinking that I like Luffy, but does Luffy also like me? So to find out, she brings wine to Luffy's house and tells when Luffy asks to drink wine, Luffy continuously refuses. Then Song starts climbing on his body and asks if he likes Jan more than me. When Luffy doesn't say anything, Song grabs his face and keeps asking, due to which Luffy retreats and goes into a room where he has pasted information photos of all these people. Seeing which, Song gets a little shocked and she says, "Do you want to know anything else from us, that you are spying on us in this way?" Unable to answer all these things, Luffy panics and tells Song that he is an alien. Song is a little shocked at first, and then she starts jumping happily, saying that I had heard all this story in my childhood and I am happy that I love an alien, so our children will be aliens in the future. But Luffy gets a little shocked seeing her reaction. I told her about the alien and why this girl is so happy. Next morning, we see that Song comes to meet Jan in a cafe and tells Jan that I found out about your truth. Hearing this, Yang gets scared that she has found out everything about me. Song says, I know that you are an alien, and after listening to the alien, Jan says, who told you this? To which Song says that now, you do not try to lie to me because Luffy has told me everything truthfully that you and Luffy are aliens. So now I will not misbehave with you, and now, I don't even like GUH, so he is yours now. You treat him as you want and love him as much as you want, because I have found my love. On which Jan asked, who is he? So Song says that I came here to talk about Ganyu, not about myself, and then leaves. In the next scene, we see Jan and Luffy talking to each other where Jan asks, why did you tell a lie to Song? You could have made an excuse, or you could have drank that liquid. So that time goes backward, to which Luffy says that the liquid was only for you, not for me. And anyway, we have to go back to our world after 3 days. So I lied to calm Song down. Then Luffy tells Yen that I have seen in the future that Zhu is gonna have an accident, to which Jan says that I have to stop Guy's accident by any means because I care about Guy the most in this world. So she goes to Guy's house to prevent the accident. Next morning, we see that when Guy's getting ready and going to his office, Jan starts hovering behind him and stops Gu from going out by making various excuses, on which God says that we have broken up. So you stop bothering me now, and we should go our separate ways. On which Jan catches him and starts talking sweetly to him, to which God doesn't agree, so Jan kisses him and asks, do you still want to go? Then we see that Luffy calls Jan and asks, where are you right now? To which Jan says that I am at God's house right now, and he is in the study room. Then Luffy says that I saw that the accident has happened, but if not Guy's, then who does it belong to? Then after some time, we come to know that this accident happened not to anyone else, but to the same girl who had accused Yan of information leak. Then after a while, Gu comes out of his study and tells Yan that Yuan has had an accident and we have to go meet her. When Gu and Jan go to the hospital, they find that Yuan is not seriously injured and the doctor tells her to rest, on which Yuan asks Yuan about her well-being. Seeing which Yuan gets shocked, because she thinks that I have done so much wrong to her, yet she is worried about me. She is not at all the way I had wronged her. The scene changes, and we see that Ian is leaving for Singapore with her daughter. Gus stops her and asks her the reason for leaving, to which Yuan tells that whatever I posted about Jan is all this. Sue had asked me to do it, and it was Sue who was leaking company information. And we came to know that Sue had caused my accident because he wanted to remove me from his path so that his secret would not come out. After hearing this, Guasu goes to meet him and stands in front of his car, which Sue comes out to remove. Then Guy asks him, why did you do this to me? To which Sue says that you always think about yourself and always put me in some problem or the other without thinking how I will get out of it. On which Guy says that you were such a good friend of mine, then why have you changed so much? To which Sue says that I was like this from the beginning, but you never paid attention to me. So how will you know about me? Saying this, he backs his car and leaves from there. So after hearing all this, Guy Jan becomes very sad and realizes what a big mistake he has made by accusing Jan of leaking information. So he brings a lot of balloons to apologize to Jan and starts apologizing. Initially, Jan throws a little tantrum at him, but later she says that if I were in your place, perhaps I too would not be able to trust the person who came with the fake ad. To which Guy says, no, still you were my girlfriend and I should have trusted you. On which Jan says, let's leave all this aside. I don't love you that much anyway. After hearing this, Gu leaves the balloon from his hand and starts flying in the sky. Seeing this, Jan says, hey, what have you done? In which Guy says that the higher this balloon goes, the more people will know how much I love you and Bo. In the same night, we see that Song comes to meet Luffy in a restaurant where both of them are drinking tea, but suddenly, Luffy starts having stomach pain, on which Song gives him tea and tells him to drink it. It will definitely help you. You will get relief. Luffy tells Song that I have to talk to you about something important, on which Song thinks that maybe Luffy is going to propose her, but here it is a different matter. Luffy tells her that he is going back to his world tomorrow. After hearing this, the cup slips from Song's hand and falls down, which Song sits down to pick up and starts crying loudly there. Seeing this, Luffy says that please don't cry. Anyway, we had to separate from each other one day or the other in saying this. Luffy starts leaving from there, on which Song stops him and kisses him, after which Luffy neither can stop themselves and they start kissing each other. Night Eye sees the future machine that Guy is going to be murdered today. While on the other hand, Yen also sees the same in his dream, due to which he gets scared, and she comes straight to Luffy and says, "That show me your future machine, because I have seen a dream in which Guy is going to be murdered. I love Guy the most in this world. I want to save him at any cost." In which, Luffy explains to her and tries to calm her down and tells her falsely that you are thinking all these things due to stress because you do not want to leave GA and go from here. But today is our last day in this world and the time machine is also ready, so now we have to leave from here. On which Jan says that till now, I have not told GA anything true about myself. Then how can I leave from here like this? To which Luffy says that sometimes not telling the truth is good for the other, and both of them are getting ready to go to their world when Luffy is unable to stop himself and tells Jan about Gu's murder, and what happened next is Yen realizes that Gu is going to die. Yen doesn't stop even for a moment, and she starts running towards Gu. On the other hand, Guyan comes to the office to meet Sue, where Gu says that whatever you did before was not good because I considered you my best friend. Then a man attacks Gu, who was sent by the investor. God's friendship is still alive inside Sue. That is why he starts killing that man a lot to save Gu, to which his health worsens, and by then, Jan also reaches there, who hugs Gu after seeing him safe, and so then stands up and goes to kill Jan by blaming him for everything, but Gu stops Sue and pushes him away. Jan faints from shock. Lu Fai takes him to the hospital and blames Gu for Jan's condition, and Gu is also crying a lot. On the other hand, Guzzy is saying bad things to Xiao, that today's young boys are not trustworthy. Zao was just pretending to be my friend and saying all this. Guzzy starts drinking, which is being harassed by two men. Just then, Seo comes there. But the man hits a bottle on Seo's head, due which Yeo becomes unconscious. When Guzzy starts looking at his head injury, she learns that XIAO is a robot, which she brings to her lab and repairs its parts. Next morning, Guzzy tells everything to Guyan, due to which Guyan comes to know that Jan has income from the future. But Guyan does not know for what reason time starts going reverse and goes back 3 months, where in the office, no one recognizes Jan, not even Go. While Jan was very upset that I did not get any portion, then, how could time go back? While Alexianio also forgot about these 3 months, who works in a restaurant where Jan has also started working. Then Jan suddenly remembers that today, Guyan and Song are going to meet each other in a con. Jen also goes to the concert to see them, where Song is taking photos when the banner that we saw earlier falls on her. Guyan saves Song, which breaks Jan's heart, because now Jan is very sad, thinking that Gu will love Song instead of her. Here ends part 3 of Drama. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and check out our other selection of recaps.